Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Everlast Wristwrap Heavy Bag Gloves. So stay tuned. Hey guys, Carlo here, and today I'm doing a review on the Everlast Wristwrap Heavy Bag Gloves. It comes in the traditional Everlast colorway with black, a little bit of gray trim, as well as yellow for the logos. You can get this in two different sizes, small, medium, or like I have here, the large XL. Everlast, at least on their website, shows that these gloves should weigh in at 9 ounces. And we'll go ahead and discuss that here in a little bit more detail here in a second. The gloves themselves are manufactured in China, and it utilizes the synthetic leather or synthetic polyurethane outside casing, the same kind of material that you would find on the other entry-level Everlast gloves. Now, the reason I decided to try these out and do a review on these gloves is I've never honestly done a review on an Everlast heavy bag glove or heavy bag mitts. The other thing that was kind of intriguing is when I first saw these, I was a little confused because when you look at it visually, you think MMA glove. That's the first thing I think because of the open finger, open thumb design. And that's what I initially thought, just looking at it. But Everlast advertised it as being a heavy bag glove. So I was like, oh, okay, let me go ahead and order these and give them a shot and see how they perform. But again, what's unique or what's different about these compared to your old school boxing mitts or should I say heavy bag mitts or heavy bag gloves, is those traditional heavy bag gloves usually are closed off, meaning that the finger compartment for your four fingers from your index to your pinky finger is usually enclosed. And it's 50-50 when it comes to the thumb. You may have a thumb that's closed off, or you may have an exposed thumb. And that just depends on the brand and the design of the heavy bag mitt you're going with. So that's kind of the 50-50 there. But traditionally, boxing heavy bag mitts or heavy bag gloves usually have a closed off hand compartment for your four fingers minus your thumb. So that was one thing that kind of confused me a little bit. Not necessarily a bad or a good thing, but just something that I thought this would be more or less like an MMA style glove. But again, Everlast advertised them as a heavy bag glove. So I said, to heck with it, let me go ahead and order it and see how it performs. Now, design wise, it is a bag mitt, so it's much more compact than your traditional boxing gloves. The whole premise of a heavy bag mitt is to really give you the freedom and flexibility to really make a nice tight fist, to practice good punch form, punch mechanics. And for a lot of the old school fighters, a lot of old school boxers, they really use it to really strengthen their hands, their fist, and their wrist and their forearm muscles. And even till today, I feel like bag mitts are extremely underrated. You're starting to see more people training with larger gloves, with multi-layer foams and a lot more sophisticated glove designs, which is, it's not a bad thing, but I still like to really use some of these old school bag mitts because you can't really replicate the feel of getting that feedback and that punch and that feeling when you're really landing a good shot with heavy bag mitts. So when you're looking at design wise, you do have the traditional Everlast logo on the back of the strike surface right there. The type of foam they use on here is very dense. I would say that it's probably some kind of EVA type foam on the back of the knuckle area, and I'd say that it's maybe about almost 3/4 to an inch of foam padding that also extends over the fingers. And when I put the gloves on here in a second, you'll see how much it goes over my fingers. But you do have that protection that drops down on your fingers, so that it's not just your knuckles that are covered, but you have the extension over the fingers to give yourself some protection. You do have that flexibility right there with the hinge point, as well as some foam backing on the back of your wrist right there. I'd say again, that's maybe about a 1/2 inch of foam padding. It's definitely softer when you push down on it. It's more of a medium density style foam compared to the one that goes over your knuckle area. So they definitely use two types of foams between this and that section. You have the Everlast cloth patch that's patched in. You do have Everfresh, which is basically their type of liner that they advertise it and market as. And you also have the Velcro strap, which is fairly long. I'd say that this strap is about 16 inches in length of synthetic material as well. You do have the Velcro on there, the Everlast logo. and you also have that patch right here. So essentially when you wrap this around, you'll see the first Velcro piece goes on right there. The second Velcro piece goes on the back, so it connects right there, and then the last goes around on top. So I'll go ahead and open it up. And then you have the Everfresh, which is basically your polyester nylon liner on the inside. Nothing too crazy there. You have the size tag, large XL. You also have an additional tag in here. Maybe it's in the other glove. I think it's in the other glove. That shows that it's manufactured in China. You do have an open thumb. The thumb has, I'd say, maybe quarter inch, almost a half inch of medium density padding on the back of the thumb. A feature I really love about this is the grip bar. You can see that I believe they used a rubber tube on the inside of the grip bar. It's really nice and solid, and when you're using them, you can really clamp down on it. I did a review on the boxing hand grenade. It's kind of like a fist loader, and there's other companies now that are kind of coming up with that similar concept, but the thickness of this and how dense it is, density of it makes it almost feel like it's almost like a fist loader right here on the inside. So I definitely like that. And then you also have the finger loops for your fingers to go through. The quality of these are below average. The material is very thin, and you can see the stitching on here could definitely be better. You have single stitching throughout, throughout the glove. You can see the stitching on the back of the hinge point could be definitely better. It just feels really cheap and thin. And you can see again stitching kind of coming out. And again, it's just like the other entry-level Everlast products that you get. Very thin, doesn't do very well with sweat and heat, and just starts to kind of tear and rip. My biggest issue is how thin the material is on the finger section right here, and I haven't pulled through yet, but I give it a couple more weeks and I feel like these finger loops are gonna tear through and rip right off, and that's gonna be pretty much the end. Once these rip, I mean, you really don't have any control of closing down and pulling down with your hand or rolling your fingers up to make a fist, because these tear. So you would have to restitch it if it's even worth it to you, or order yourself a whole new pair of these mitts. But you can see the stitching definitely could be done better. The other thing is that they advertise these to be 9 ounces. I put them on the scale, and I believe they came in at like 5.4 and 6 ounces, and so extremely underweight. Not a huge deal to me, because I'm not really concerned when it comes to heavy bag mitts or heavy bag gloves like these when it comes to weight. But if you're gonna advertise something as 9 ounces, then at least try to be accurate with it. But you can see right there, there's the quality. Again, very entry level, like some of the other Everlast products. Now, comfort. Sliding my hand into the glove, one thing you'll notice is that you just kind of have to get your fingers lined up with the holes, and you slide it in. Now, again, to me, it really replicates more of like an MMA style glove with your fingers being exposed. The good thing about that is that if you have longer fingers, thicker fingers, it does accommodate that very well. Surprisingly, this wrist wrap works really nicely. I'll give them that. You can really tighten down your wrists to give yourself more support around the wrist. So for a heavy bag glove like this, I definitely like the wrist wrap that they put around here. It's longer and it really locks your wrist in. The other thing, again, is the grip bar. It feels fantastic. I love how this grip bar feels when you roll your fingers down and make a fist. You can really, again, feels like almost like a fist loader when you put that down in there. And you can see now that the padding covers all of my fingers pretty much, and almost acts like a shield for my fingers. So when I'm landing, I definitely land on my knuckles, but I also have protection if a shot decides to be off. One thing I would be mindful of is using this for mitts or doing any kind of pad work with your trainer. With your fingers being exposed, you run the risk of possibly jamming your finger on the mitts, or even on your coach or whoever's holding the mitts for you. So I would be very wary of that. To me, this is strictly more of like a double end bag, a heavy bag type glove, and Cobra bag, double end bag, obviously heavy bag. You kind of limit it to that just because of the open fingers and it being more of like an MMA style glove. For those of you that do mixed martial arts, that are grappling and not just striking like you would in boxing, this definitely would be more beneficial for you guys that are watching this video. But for a classical traditional boxer, I would definitely limit it to a certain type of bag work with these, because you can do some damage to your fingers being exposed like that. Another good feature with this glove, which, you know, again, I like to give credit to, is this EVA style foam is very dense. So if you're looking for a very protective heavy bag glove that gives you good pop, I was surprised at how well these protected my knuckles from shock. I felt really good, you know, landing shots with these. Again, I love this grip bar. I feel that they did a really great job of putting that grip bar in there. But you get a good amount of shock absorption, a good amount of pop, excellent feedback because it is a heavy bag glove or a heavy bag mitt like this. And you can really curl up and make a nice tight fist compared to some other gloves out there. So being able to fundamentally be able to make a really good fist with these is paramount. And you can see that it's nice and tight when you make a fist with this. Cost-wise, these are $39.99. And I think they're a little overpriced, a tad overpriced. The thing that sucks about these is that I think the design is on point, right? I think that this wrist wrap, Velcro strap is awesome. Gives me a really nice feeling of being supported around my wrist for a heavy bag mitt or heavy bag glove like this. I don't mind the open finger design, just mainly because I know I'm just gonna use it for heavy bag work. I love the grip bar and how that feels. It's just the quality is really the big downfall with this. You know, if Everlast made like a full leather version, really dialed in the quality of these, if they made like an MX heavy bag mitt like this one, where it's that same quality leather they use in some of their MX gloves, maybe even design the same kind like this, but with a closed off finger compartment. That way you don't have exposed fingers. For those of you that want more of a traditional style bag mitt, then I definitely think it would be worth it. But for $39, a little bit on the high side. If it was like 20 bucks, I definitely would think this is a good glove to get. If you're looking to kind of keep yourself true to a budget and not spend a ton of money on a pair of heavy bag mitts, then this definitely would be a good alternative. Maybe look for it to go on discount or get a discount code so you can drop the price down, but not for $40. I just think there's other bag gloves out there that are better than these, especially quality-wise and longevity-wise. And the way I look at it is, again, once these finger loops rip from using them, and then it's pretty much over, and you'll have to either restitch them in yourself or get yourself some new bag gloves, and that's pretty much $39.99 out the window. So if they can improve the quality, then I definitely think these would be a big hit. So if you guys have any questions or comments, make sure you guys leave them down below in the comments box. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Everlast heavy bag gloves. I'll see you guys later. Take care.